Hello from the dung heap, everybody. These are my friends. A lot of them.
Friends.
There he is. Hi, sweetie.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
And we're live. Hello. SPTV. Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a great weekend. Here we are. Hi. I thought I would do a night stream. I had a great time last was it Sunday? Oh, so today's Sunday. So it's been a week since I did a night stream, and I like to check in with you all. Hey, everybody coming in. Great to see you all. Yeah, this is great. This is exciting. Yeah. So, oh my God, it's been such a busy weekend. It's been a little crazy. I had a very New Englandy backwoods country weekend, I think. My boys had 2 gigs in a row, full band gigs, and Friday night was at a donkey farm, which I showed some pictures, I think, yesterday morning. And then last night was at a pavilion outside a community club, not too far away. And it was funny. I bought, I don't know what it's called. It's like, one of those auction tables where you buy tickets and you put in for whatever, you think you'd like to win. And I won. Get this. I think I only put 1 ticket in for this, but I won a rack of ribs. And with it was from a catering guy who does catering, and he does canning, like mason jars. I got a big basket of like all these canned goods, like dill pickles and dilly beans and like some kind of relish, like corn relish. And I got plum sauce. I'm not really sure what to do with plum sauce. If anybody has any recipes, or I'm not sure. I haven't tasted it yet, so I'm not sure if it's like supposed to be like sweet or savory, or I always think of plum sauces like with Asian food. So anyways, I don't know. Duncan's like, oh, I'll dump it on ice cream. I'm like, I don't know if you're supposed to do that. So yeah, so here we are. Here we are. Hi, everybody. Rack of ribs. Hey, paralyzed, paralyzed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now. We talk about all the things here. So yeah, I wanted to check in with you. I've been trying to catch up on all the streams. I was really excited to see the clips of the Melbourne. Is it Melbourne that they were protesting at? There was Ree and Miriam and Perth and like a lot of people. I think it's so exciting. I really do. And also the whole initiative to contact the U.S. representatives, all up for re-election this year, and so many candidates in the U.S. We can work on that. And yeah, I'm excited about just moving forward and let's get this done. So there's so many of us. So I feel like, we all can do our part. So yeah. So, oh my goodness, so good to see all of you coming in. This is great. So I'm just going to go up. I do have a few things I wanted to talk about and show you, but more importantly, I really want to just interact with you all and see what's on your mind. And what do you think about everything? So, all right, who we got? We have Pizza. Hey, Pizza, good evening to you. And we got Chato. And Chato, hit the like button. Everybody, if you could hit the like button, that would be great. Or the unlike button. If you're hate watching, that's okay too. Whatever. I appreciate it for the algorithm. Girl, hi. Oh, thank you. Hope you are well as well. We got Davlin88. Awesome. Glad you're here. Mischief Man is shouting everybody's name. We got the Chatster. Pizza Davlin. Awesome. I love how she greets everybody. That's great. Oh, hey, Ree, you're here. Hi. Good day, peeps. Hello. Oh, and I got a little conversation going here. I'm gonna eavesdrop. Ree, did you have fun? Oh my God, the best fun ever. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Just saying, if you feel like popping on, I could send you an invite if you want to tell us about it. It's totally up to you. But yeah, I'd love to hear all about it. So, but no pressure, no pressure. Jersey Jan, hey there. So glad you're here, honey. Iced tea cup refilled, ready to roll. I was gonna make some tea, and then Duncan's like, "There's cold beer in the fridge." I'm like, you know what? That would taste good about now. I'm really, really sweaty tonight. So yeah, so I broke out this I call it my mini streets koozie. Kelly Copter bought this for me when she was here in the States, and I just love it. So why don't we do a Zena Marlene to kick this off with? This whatever you got, doesn't have to be anything to drink. It could be water, it could be, Tic Tac, it could be anything. It could be a potato chip, it'd be a rack of ribs. So here we go. Zena Marlene, everybody partake. Cheers. Oh yes, that tastes good. Very refreshing. Always makes you think of Doug. Hey, I'm so glad you're here, honey. Still quite sore. It just feels like a bad sciatica flare up. Hope it feels better soon. Yeah, just take it easy. Take it easy, honey. We love you. Oh, Doug. Doug is here. I'm so glad because I have a clip to show you that Doug sent me. And I gotta tell you, this is Coffee Cults and Crafts, right? So I invited whoever wants to send in pictures or clips or whatever of whatever you're working on, of your fur babies, whatever you want to send me, and I'll try to show them. And Doug sent me a little video. He actually has a YouTube channel, I guess, and he makes custom, what do you call it, like bait let yeah, they're really pretty. So I'll show you those in a little while. So yes, have. And my hubby's got his big art project going on up the hill there. And I've got some clips of that as well. Joel, you're here? Did I see somebody say hi to Joel? Oh, there he is. Hey, friend. Glad you're here. I was looking for you. Uh-oh, George in trouble. You're in trouble already? It's only like not even 10 minutes in, George. We always say, oh, George. We love George. And we love literally no one. Check out his channel if you haven't yet. Reconnecting. Thanks, George. We had a very special time together. Miriam was so brave. Yes, she's amazing. Yes, exactly. Miriam is amazing. Yes, and thank you all for being there for her and with her. It's awesome. I love it. Terry Morgan. Hey, everyone. Marina. Hi. Oh, hi. Hey there. Nico. Oh, wow. There's so many of you here. I love it. Thank you for being here. We got Kate Delight. All right. Poet. Not a stream without Poet. Hey there. Cricket Cinema. And anyone watching on the replay, hey there. And please like and subscribe if you haven't. And just drop me a little line because I love to read the comments afterwards. I really do. And I read all of them. All of them. Good, bad, and ugly, and great, and whatever. Oh. Sold my motorcycle today. Can't do that anymore. Yeah. Motorcycles scare me. I always tell my boys, no motorcycles, please. But, yeah. I don't know. They just scare. I'm a little bit of a bit of a worry wart, especially when it comes to things like motorcycles. Hey, sweetie. Glad you're here. We're breaking out the emojis. I love it. And the mama bears and the cubs. Good to see all the cubs. Lori. Oh, I gave you 4 Loris. Oh, hey there. Constance June. Glad you're here. Cricket Cinema. I hate to miss anybody, but there's so many. It's hard to say hi to everybody. So, hi, everybody. We've got Karen McCourt. Hi, Marilyn. Wonderful mods in chat. Loving you all from Toronto on day 3 of rain. Oh, rain, no tornado here. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, it's been raining here too. And tomorrow's Monday. I think it's supposed to rain the whole day. So the dogs, if you hear them, they're very rambunctious because they didn't get a lot of outside time today. So they're running around like crazy. Paralyzed. Hey there, friend. Hey, everybody, rack of ribs. Yeah. Kind of a strange thing to win, but because I thought it was just for the canned goods, because of course the rack of ribs wasn't sitting out there; it was in like the pavilion refrigerator or whatever. And as soon as I came up, they called my name, and I came up like, "Hi, oh my god, I won something!" Because I never won anything. And the lady like pulled this big like thing out of the fridge with it's all like wrapped in foil. And she's like, "Here," I'm like, thanks. So what is it? She's like, you want a rack of ribs and then all those mason jars. I'm like, yeah, so cool. Raffle drawings are great. You have, oh, that's awesome. Oh, put the plum sauce on the, well, it already has barbecue sauce on, but you know what? I think I'll just slather it on everything. Yeah, let's see what I got. I can dip Triscuits in it. I don't know. It's a pretty good sized jar. It's at least a pint. Yeah. Hey, Sophia. Don't use too much of the plum sauce though. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll have to taste it and see if it's, like, sweet or not. Hey, John Shamoski, Scooby Dooski. Hey there. Good to see you, friend. This is why I like the night times too, I like to do both. I can see all the people I don't get to see all the time. Yeah, Oracle 1. Hey there. Going down the line here. Sin K. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. Aw, Indigo Twin, thank you. It's so sweet. Everybody greeting each other. I love it. Oh, now what? Hi there. Glad you're here. We got my Sharona. And wow, we got everybody here. A big roll call tonight. Right. I'm trying to catch up, and then I'll do a few screen shares and see what you all have to say. Still doing some greetings. Oh, can you use plum sauce for stir frying, good with roasted meats. Sounds good. Like lures, right? Yeah, they called it. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. They're really pretty. I'll show them to you pretty soon. Hey, Rika, good to see you. Oh my God, E! Hi, sweetheart. I haven't seen you in a little while. So glad you're here. Thank you for being here. I get so excited when I see people like, oh, people are here. Oh my God. Cheers. Everybody's yelling, John. Oh, there's my friend Sophie. We got Sophia and Sophie. I love it. So glad you're here, honey. Cece, really? Oh my God, that's awesome. That is awesome. 2-day, no six. I am sending all the love, all the good vibes, crossing my fingers for you. You can do it. You can do it. If I can, I always say it's so true though. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And if you'd like to chat or anything, feel free to email me. And yeah, it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. It's been, I think 10 weeks for me now, 2.5 months. So yeah, I'm doing it. It does get easier. It wasn't, I'll be honest. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. Yeah. I only got that hair blowing in the wind. I told you it was really sweaty in here. Yeah, I got my cold beer. In my 80s. Yeah, Austin always has a fan on him because he's got that thick curly hair. So he's always got a fan on him when he's playing his gigs. Yes, hugs for feeling better. Yes, hugs and hearts. Hearts for Hef. That's what I've been saying. Hearts for Hef, everybody. Oh, yeah. Hospital nurse. Yeah, yeah. I know Duncan told me there was a statistics that you're something like 61 times more likely to yeah, have an accident or a fatal outcome. Yeah. That's why I worry. That's why I worry. Hey, Becky USA. I never thought of myself as having what they call it complex PTSD, but now I realize that I do tend to overreact a little bit sometimes about with my worrying. Ask Helicopter because when we picked her up at the airport and we were kind of going back the back way, and Duncan was taking this mountain pass, I was clutching that. I was white knuckling that oh shit handle big time. So she got to see me at my worst, many times during that week. Yep. Oh, speaking of Duncan driving like a crazy lunatic. Hi, sweetie. Freeze and Eagle. Check out his channel. He's been doing tons of videos on the A-frame. Pretty cool. Oh, Furious Knitter. Good morning. 10 a.m. in Australia. I love that. Furious Knitter. Everyone's saying hi to Doug. Hi, Diana. Good to see you. Oh, yes. Doug's always searching for the coffee. More awake at this time of day. Yeah, I don't know. I've always been like not really a morning person, but I can do mornings, but nighttime I'm definitely a night owl and a little bit of insomnia. But afternoon, like if I'm scheduling something, unless I really plan ahead and try to like get enough rest and get enough coffee in me, I try not to schedule anything from like 3 to 5 my time because that's usually my low point. Even as a kid, like coming home from school, I would just be like so tired that time of day. And then as I got older, it got a little worse, especially with the autoimmune disease that I have, the condition I have, it's tended to get worse. So I try to work around that time. All right, just starting some things. Sharona got to use my new packing cubes today. Hoping these hold up better than the cheapo ones. I bought to see if I like them. Going to take care of my mom again, so most likely be on replay crew for bed. That's okay, and that's awesome that you're taking care of your mom with that. Yes, one day at a time. That's right. One's for Cece. Yes. Nico, you started. Sure. I don't want to assume, but oh my God, Brooke. Hi, I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Brooke Elliott, glad to see you. And Stacy Toms. Hey there, friend. So glad you're here. Hello, hello. Thank you, Indigo. Yeah, we're doing it. Keep it I don't know about that. It just feels good. I had to shut the air conditioner off because it's not quite air conditioner weather, but it definitely is menopause fan. And now I ruined it, right? I ruined the vibe. It was 80s rock, MTV and Baywatch, and now I'm like, pause. But okay, I gotta tell you guys this though. This is funny. And so yesterday, it was a benefit, it was a cancer benefit that it was for a nonprofit that we love to support. And it's called Pop Cares, and it's a great organization, a local organization that helps families that are fighting cancer. And my boys do a benefit for them every year. I'm very proud of them for that. And there were a lot of my high school friends there that I grew up with. And we were rocking out to, all kinds like Summer of '69. One of my friends that I grew up with, that I went to high school with, is in a band as well. So it was like a band jam, like a whole group of bands that went on after each other. And yeah, we had a blast, but we were comparing our little, all of our ailments and our menopause problems and our women problem. And then I was outside in the smoking area and just to talk to my friends because they were all out there. And I was like, oh my God, like this is the first time in 10 years that I've been like out in the smoking area without actually smoking. So, and I didn't really feel tempted. So I was glad for that. So, oh, oh, really? Yeah. I don't think it really matters for me because I was like, it was about 2:30 today, and I just all of a sudden just snapped, just pouring sweat. Just crazy. All right, I want to get caught up so I can start to. Yes, the Melbourne protest. Yeah, it was amazing. I saw Ree in here and I invited her on, but I don't see. She must have just popped in and out. But yeah, that would be awesome to hear all about it. I've been in and out all weekend, so I caught parts of it because my boys, their daytime is our nighttime, right? Like their morning is around now. So I did catch some of it. And I got to definitely look at the replay. Doug, Doug, I appreciate that you're always trying to relate. I do appreciate that. I love my fan in bed. I don't have. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry I said it. No, it's okay. I know people are negative about them, but I had it for 35 years. Yep. And as long as you're careful, I mean, I guess being fearful is not a reason to not have one, but I'm just fearful. It won't get much use as a collector item. Oh, 65. Wow. Nice. Yay, you got alive. Kim White, glad you're here. Furious knitter, knitting keeps me sane. Yes, I same with crochet for me. Absolutely. Spinning some amazing black alpaca fleece. Oh my God, that sounds awesome. It sounds beautiful. Love it. Hey, Tony, good to see you here. I was just going down the line. Brooke, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Been dealing with, oh, so happy we have you back. Thank you so much. Yeah, my heart goes out to you. I'm glad you're here, though. Oh, you're still here? Oh, awesome. All right. Really? Great. Okay. Let's do this. I can put, excuse me. I don't think I have your email, Ree, so I can just put it in the chat. All right. Okay, this is for Ree. Did it go through? There you go. Okay, awesome. 1 second, just gonna grab some water. Hey, Anna Banana, great to see you. Hello, Kathy Scoggins, glad you're here. Now I'm going back up. Reconnecting, loved your dress yesterday. Yeah, she looked beautiful. I gotta get the update because I didn't get to see it all. Oh, CO Bilf, hey there. Good to see you, friend. Glad you're here, Bilf. Oh, is it Aaron's fault? Yes. Please hit the like if it's all Aaron's fault. That's why I always say in his chat. Get everybody to hit the like. Oh, yeah, it's definitely Aaron's fault. Everything is. Did you guys see that? Well, he did 2 lives today. One talking about those sec check questions, which are horrible. Oh my God, just so gross. And then the stream he did with Jenna, I only got half of it because I was at Walmart for the first half, but I rushed home because I saw they were on because I really wanted to see that. I'm very fascinated with the tech and all the stuff that they went through and how, yeah, LRH was quite the, yeah, piece of work. Everything is Aaron's fault. That's right. Yes, it is. Yours never his fault? Whose? In Melbourne, we blame everything on Jeff Kennett's state premiere in the 90s. All right. So it's all Jeff's fault too. Oh my God. Ugh. Can't imagine a child asking those questions. Yeah. And they they have to be able to they have to understand what they're asking. Ooh, that's just, yeah, those questions were horrid. Right. And when Aaron was doing the stream the other night about, and I have it up to share later on. I'll let Repop on first, but the House representative, that the list on sptv.space, I have it pulled up. And what's funny is our state is, Vermont is so small, we don't have districts. We have one district, and it goes all the way up towards Canada. They call it the representative at large. So they do have field offices, and they have one in Brattleboro, which isn't too far away from me. So I'm going to try to get over there. But yeah, I wanted to make up a little bit of a bullet point list to put on, to kind of take that form letter and kind of tweak it a little bit and make it my own. But the child auditing is definitely something. I'm sure it does mention it on there, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, making a little fact sheet would be good. And maybe a short video with a lot of different points. I would think that, anybody could make it, but I thought it would be great if a ex-Scientologist did that. But yeah, everything will help. Everything counts. Chad, yeah, inquiring minds want to know. Through Chad, have you ever blown up a planet? We want to know. Oh, here's Ree. Here she is. Ready.
Hello.
Hi, Ree.
Hi, lovely to meet you, Miriam.
I know. Nice to finally meet you.
Thank you so much for having me on to discuss the fantastic time we had. Oh, my dog.
That's okay. I have two of those. I'm surprised you can't hear mine.
Yes, I might need to just a minute. Sorry.
Yay, Ree's here. I'm so excited. Everybody's saying hi. Joel said, everything's your fault at your house. That's funny. Everyone's saying hi to you, Ree.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's okay. We love dogs.
Yeah, well, mine looks like yours, but a bit bigger.
Oh, look at the baby. Hi. What's her name?
His name, he's very pretty. His name is Zenji, which means master of goodness in Japanese.
Oh, he's so pretty.
Yeah.
He knows he's pretty.
He does. Okay, hopefully he'll quieten down now.
Everyone's saying hi to the puppy.
Oh, lovely.
So great to finally meet you.
You too. Absolutely, yeah.
I love your hair, by the way. I've been wanting to tell you that.
Oh, thank you. Well, COVID had a great deal of help with some people's hair length because I too didn't get a haircut, so it ended up just growing and growing and growing and growing. So I'm very
Mine too.
grateful for that.
I still have the COVID cut. Yep.
Yeah.
So wow. Where do we begin? It looked like you were having such a great time, and wow.
We were. Look, one of the things I was really surprised about is how universal or wide world Scientology's reactions are. And I think it took about 10 or 15 minutes before the police arrived. It was within 10 minutes, curtain shade tech was being done.
Shade tech.
Yeah. And I was just startled that, yep, it happens in Melbourne as well. All these little defenses that they do happen in Melbourne. So that was a bit of a shock. Yeah. It's very real. Sorry?
They called the police right away?
Yes. Yeah. Within about 10 to 15 minutes, the police arrived. They were amazing. They were really beautiful. There were 2 cop cars, 4 police. The senior cop came and chatted with us and chatted with Miriam for quite some time. We'll make some clips of that. But the most marvelous part, I'll just go back to Miriam. She was able to ask him what he thought about children being locked up in rooms and audited. And it, put the cop on the spot. Of course, they're not legally allowed to have any commentary being in the police force and on duty. And so he had to give that standardized response that we all block our ears to. But the pearl or the gem of the experience was a few moments later, he and his police friends got back in their cars, drove past us and honked. They honked if it's a cult, and we were just, the police.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt that was very supportive for Miriam as well, not having her question answered, and yet she got a honk.
Yes, absolutely. Party, yes. We're celebrating that. That's for sure. Yeah, that's something they could do, right? Is honk.
Absolutely, they can honk. Yes, we had the trams honking us. We had honks when we didn't have the honk sign up, and it gets you rushing. Like, it's the support from the public really fills you full of adrenaline that you can stand out there talking for 5 hours.
Yeah, that's so encouraging. And just the group like dynamic of being there for one cause, and that's awesome that you were there for Miriam, and that is very brave of her to come out and even be able to express to the police, and just in general to the public what happened to her.
Absolutely. In fact, all the people that attended, not all of them, but many, over half of them stayed Friday night at a hotel nearby, including Miriam, and none of us had met each other. And as you would know, Miriam, a lot of people in the SPTV community are trauma survivors, and this community really does attract people that have had quite extreme experiences in their life and have sought healing and found this community and feel at home. I'm talking from my lived experience. That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So all these trauma survivors, we're going for one cause, but I always keep in mind that we're all trauma survivors, and we meet up on a Friday night. We don't know anyone, and we had a ball. Ordered in Chinese takeaway, shared all our tucker. Then we went to Miriam's room, and we had posters and electric drills and irons everywhere, making these. I don't know if you saw some of our signs. But
a little bit, yeah, I did. I tuned in a little bit in between running around, but it just looked like you were just having such a great time and really connecting with everyone.
Yes, yeah,
I love
absolutely,
that.
Yeah. And
Kate Delight wants to know. I got a question for you. How complex was it to organize the protest? Like, what did that entail?
So T from Perth, as you know, T, she organised it. She started it, and T had been to the Perth org and just felt like doing a protest at the Melbourne org would be more successful, and she didn't care whether it was just her alone. Now, then she reached out to Miriam and said, I'm thinking of doing this. And Miriam goes, yep, I'll be in. Then she reached out to me, and I'm like, oh, my God, yes. So the organising, the hardest part, I think, for the organising was because people were flying 5 hours in to get to Melbourne, because Australia is such a huge continent, keeping the date a secret, because we just were afraid that they'd tear up the concrete or, you know, shut down the street or something.
Right.
So
Put
keeping
planters up.
yeah, that's right. Put planters up. So keeping it confidential was very hard because it's hard to advertise something when you say it's in the month of August, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So our next protest, that will be eased because we'll be public with it and we'll be able to, it will be in Sydney and it will be as soon as we can get one organised.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. So we got some starred comments and questions. The inappropriate heifer says her hair makes me happy. Yes, it does. It just makes me smile.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful color. And Doug says Scientology and cops go hand in hand. Well, yeah, they try to look, you know, they try to misuse the system, but again, all cops aren't bad. So that's good. They were, yeah. Right on honking to take Scientology down. This makes me happy. Yep.
Yes.
Honk if it's a cult. That's right. And Hef says, thank you for protesting. Well, we can't. You are all true heroes.
Thank you
Yes,
so
you are.
much. And I couldn't have done this several months ago. As many of you may know, some of your audience wouldn't know, I'm a trauma survivor and have recently had the PTSI treatment of the dual sympathetic reset stellar ganglion block that Jamie Mustard wrote the book about. So my trauma had me in such isolation that there's not a hope in earth that I could have got out of my suburb several months ago. So the freedom for me, and my channel's called Reconnecting because I'm reconnecting to life, to actual life. And I choose to do it in this community because it's so safe. And I know there's prickly porcupine, very dangerous people around the skirts of this community, but I choose to stay with the green flag people, and I want to keep building this movement in Australia with all the other Aussies so that we can get this cult shut down.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to you in the sense that you know, being a trauma survivor myself, I don't know if you know anything about my story, but I was yeah. Trauma is my middle name, I guess.
Yeah.
And I am a trauma survivor as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, my childhood was pretty horrific, but you know, here we are all healing together, and I do feel at home in this community because I feel like we do have a lot in common. We do have a lot of things that we can relate to, and I love the support here. You know, no matter where we came from, I think that we're all human and we're all here for each other. So I love that.
Did I tell you one moment that was really cheeky? It wasn't cheeky, but I just loved it. And it was just a small moment. You wouldn't have caught it. Most people wouldn't have caught it. But I wanted to bring Andy, one of the protesters, had said to me earlier, I love Kelly. Can we bring her to Melbourne? So when we were at the protest, I went up to Andy and we brought Kelly's music to the Melbourne protest.
Oh,
would you like
really? I missed that.
Would you like to see the clip of that?
Yeah. Can you? I don't know if you can share from my.
Oh, you can. Hang on. I'll put it in the background for you.
Oh, you got it. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Share that.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just let's go full screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Unmute. Let's go. Now the sound isn't great, but it's the love that I want you to feel.
Now I can't join it to my phone because we want Kellycopter. Oh, we want Kellycopter. Yeah, so if I open this and you
Okay.
oh my God. I'm going to bring this around. So we are about to bring Kellycopter to Melbourne of all places because we love Kelly. And her voice really matters.
Yes.
So let's Okay. Can you show us the signs? Okay, I'm going to show you the signs. Hang on while we get the music happening. We have honk if you think it's a cult. Honk! Honk!
You're great at this, Ree.
First
How long
time.
is a con?
Oh, God, it's a con.
Okay for children to order pedos. Oh, and look, this is going to save you thousands of dollars. I mucked up my own reactive mind, and I'm not doing it anymore. Oh yeah,
Helicopter in Melbourne.
we've got Kelly in Melbourne. Hang on, keep that playing.
Melody.
Yeah, we've got Kelly in Melbourne.
We've brought Kelly to Melbourne. Woohoo!
Getting a lot of honks down here in Melbourne.
That's it, Miriam.
I love it. Oh, my goodness.
Uh,
I love it.
yeah, I thought if Kelly saw that she had gone to the Melbourne protest, I think that would tickle her funny bone.
Has she seen it yet?
I don't know. So I'm glad I got
Oh.
the chance to show you because I know that it'll get back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll make sure she
It'll
knows.
get back.
Yeah, and if you want to send me the clip, we can play it when we know she's in the chat. So,
Beautiful. Thank you. I shall do that.
yeah, excellent. I just go in some starred questions and comments here. Yeah.
We've got people.
Oh, this is my hubby. This is my husband, Free as an Eagle. Thank you for gifting five Coffee Cults and Crafts memberships. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah, I was saying thank you and my hubby for the gifts. Yay, I got 5 new cubs. I love it. Love it. Oh, Philosophy's down here. Oh, she grabbed it. Do you know Philosophy?
Yes. Yes.
She's from New Zealand. Is it okay if I bring her up?
Absolutely.
All right. Awesome.
Hi.
Hi. Hey there, sweetie.
How's it going?
are
It's
ya?
afternoon here. I'm good. I just thought I'd jump on and say hi.
I'm glad you did. So you're a few hours ahead of Australia?
I think
You're
we're
New
ahead
Zealand.
of Melbourne. Yeah. It's 12:28 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What time's it in Melbourne?
10:28 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's 8:28 p.m.
It's weird, eh? We're all
But-
time travelers.
But I'm in the past, right?
That's right.
Yeah. It's Monday.
Oh, right. It's Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a Monday.
Yeah. So do you know, I think it's Budapest is where Mark Torrey lives. Have you heard of Mark Torrey? He is an ex-Scientologist staff member, and he's done some streams with me in the past. He used to stream with our friend Doug, Scott Kramer. You know who Mark Torrey is, right?
Yeah,
Sophie?
he's very intelligent.
He is. Oh my goodness. I don't know how many degrees he has, but he is a scholar. He knows all about his history of different religions. And he was a Scientologist, and I started this with Doug, and then I wanted to carry it on. It's been tough because I cry a lot about it. Sophie knows, but then I put myself back into, I'm like, okay, I'm going to going back in, but bringing up some different ways that basically the mind control and everything of the tech of Ronald McDonald, L. Ron Hubbard. And I've done some streams with Aaron and also Mark and a bunch of the other ex-Scientologists. So we're just focusing on, just keeping the word, getting the word out of the abuses and dissecting some of the tech, because I'm fascinated, coming from a cult myself, of the whole human psychology of it all. And what it does to people, and how I think that helped me to understand what happened to me, so that I could heal from it and help others, maybe, hopefully. you know?
And I think with Mark, his knowledge is so broad of all the different religions, he can see the control systems are the same. If
Yeah,
you strip back the beliefs and the decoration, they're all doing the same things. It's
right.
it
Yeah, so
just takes a
tomorrow
while to see.
he's tomorrow I think he's going to tell his story about how he got kind of hoodwinked into joining into becoming a staff member. And
Oh,
there's this course that you take, I forgot what it's called, it begins with an H, but it's basically you're being groomed, for lack of a better word, and
yeah.
you're they basically have you agree to becoming a indentured servant. And yeah, it's like being
Yeah.
a slave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's why I liked how Doug talked about the narcissists and the narcissistic abuse, because it's like you can have an individual that's a narcissist, but you can also have an organization that's operating like it, which is what the cults do. They're all just hijacking our empathy, indebting us to them, making us their slaves without us even knowing it. And then you wake up one day and you're like, fuck, what's happened to me? How did I get into this system? But it's like kind of slow and, step by step. So we don't notice all those small steps it takes to get to that place until we're in it. And then it's like, shit, how do I get out of this?
Yeah. Yeah, and Ree, you said I saw the stream you did with Nora last week, and it's amazing. Like I was like, I'm just amazed at, even though like I know that you express that you've been through hard times yourself, but it's like you're using that as fuel to help other people, and I love that. I love that you are in mental health care yourself, right? As far as a profession. And I think that's awesome.
Thanks. Can I tell you a little bit about that? So when I was 20, because of my childhood trauma, I actually got sober. Now, not many 20-year-olds get sober at 20, but my drinking and drug use wasn't covering up the pain of my trauma anymore. So drugs and alcohol stopped working. So I went to rehab because it was do or die at that moment.
You were in your 20s?
Yeah, I was 20 years and 3/4 old. So
wow.
My 21st, in fact, next Sunday, I'm going to have the first ever party, because if I make it till Sunday, I'll be 35 years sober.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yes. So what happened to me was I joined the 12-step fellowships, and I did that for 20 years, in fact. But they also have some cult characteristics, and
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some examples just off the top of your head?
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. AA helped save my life.
Oh yeah.
However, it became a problem to me in my recovery, because as I started to discover an inner spirit within myself, my own soul or my intuition, I'm not trying to be religious because I'm not. As I discovered my inner voice that I had never had as a child because I wasn't allowed to have it, I was being told by the doctrine that I had to be a certain way. I had to believe in a God that started with a capital HIM, a God of your own choosing, but in the steps, it's capital HIM, and
Really?
they wouldn't change the steps. Yeah. So I couldn't, it's not true for me anymore. I moved past that, and that was important. So I decided to go and study to be a psychotherapist when I was 11 years sober. And then I worked in the profession for 17 years. I loved my job working. We didn't even call our clients, Miriam. We used to call our clients people. And the reason for that was because my incredibly amazing manager, she also is a woman of lived experience. So the two senior clinicians, which was myself and my boss, We both were women that were seeing counsellors, had seen them since our teenage years, had been sober since our early 20s. We're in our 40s or 50s by this stage in our career, and we knew our shit. And we wanted to treat humans that were coming to our services in extreme trauma with the respect that they deserve. And you know, this woman sent me to train with Bessel van der Kolk, the man who wrote the book, The Body Keeps the Score. I don't know. Many of your audience will know that book. It's one of the best.
I haven't read it. I'll have to read it because I've been wanting to get it. I'll probably get the audiobook if they have it.
Well, it's much better audio. It's really good. Audio.
Yeah, I'm terrible at reading. But I like audiobooks.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Trauma actually injures the part of our brain in our frontal lobe, our executive function. It injures it in a way that makes reading books very difficult, Miriam. And I say this to a lot of survivors because whenever I talk books, and I couldn't read until I had the shots this year. I've had 7 years of no reading real books, reading them, only able to listen. Yeah, because the post-traumatic stress injury affects your executive function, and it's so fuzzy in that part of your brain that you cannot take in the comprehension. So it's not because you're silly or stupid or fluttery or whatever. It's none of that. It's an injury. It's an injury, and be gentle.
I thought maybe I was dyslexic and didn't know it, because I was never tested for it. You know, being in foster care, you know, you're just kind of. I was lumped in with 10 kids, and so I don't know what's wrong with me. But it's true, like things just like if even if a comment is a little bit too long, all of a sudden the words just start to swirl, and I can't understand what I'm reading.
Yes, yeah.
Well, that's.
I really like how you said about the patients being human, like treating them as humans, not clients or patients.
We call
I think
them
this is a big thing. Like I noticed it, you know, when I worked in the sex industry, I treated the sex workers as human beings, not as prostitutes. And I think that's something that, you know, we all need to talk about and work on, is humanizing. You're not a cult victim, you're a human.
That's
you know, you're not just a drug addict, you're a human being. And I think by putting the labels on people, it's dehumanizing in some kind of a way that is not helpful.
Yeah.
I like how you said that.
Oh, thank you. I personally, because I'm still a client, like most really good therapists that I know, always have a therapist that they've got available to talk to, you know, and it's really important. But I don't want to be called a patient or a client, you know. I'm a person that's going to get therapy. That's
you're a human.
Well, speaking of, we have Gretchen Olney in the chat, Dr. Gretchen. She's a licensed psychologist, I believe. She's a therapist.
Hi, Gretchen.
And she has a channel. She and our friend Keela have a channel called Mental Health Matters to Us, and it's amazing. I was a guest. I was lucky enough to be a guest on there, and on last week. I can't remember. The days are just, I think it was maybe Thursday. But yeah, that would be, I would love to see I would love to see you on their channel. I'm just trying to hook you guys up, Gretchen. Meet Gretchen.
I'd love to do that with Gretchen, because I really am trying to figure out how I can get the Department of Child Services, how I can get their eyes on the documents for the children, because I can't, and none of us can report an actual child because we don't know children's names. We don't know what's going on. However, the doctrine is so abusive, Miriam, as we all know. Even the setup, like if we talk about the 6 to 12-year-old report that they do, the questions they do, the 99 questions. Just the setup of a child being alone in a locked room, that's an alarm bell to go and investigate, let alone the content of it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that the authorities have had their eyeballs on those documents because there's been, interference from the first gens making a different story about Scientology in the public. So that's where I'd love to work with Gretchen about how could we try and get this into the authorities' inboxes, that they read the documents on the doctrine can't be changed. It's written by Hubbard. It can't be changed. Right. And no matter how you read these words, it's extremely abusive and takes away their child's autonomy totally.
Now, is Scientology, is it considered a religion in Australia? It is. What about in New Zealand, Sophie?
Yeah, it's a tax exempt religion here in New Zealand too. Yeah, I was quite shocked to find out it's still tax exempt because, I mean, it doesn't fit the criteria in Britain.
Really? Are the authorities allowed to look at the doctrine? Because that's something that's a problem here in the States. That
I'm
not
sure.
allowed.
I believe in Australia that they'd be willing to do it. Australia does lead with certain investigations into churches and in child abuse, etc. So I actually believe Australia does have the cojones, if that's the right word, to actually investigate this. And I spoke deeply with Miriam on Friday night, and we talked about, she's got some contacts, and we're talking about trying to liaise with some people in the media to get their eyeballs on the material we want them to see. So if anyone has any material regarding the children that they think, oh my God, that needs to be seen, please flick me a message or just to make sure that I include. If we get that opportunity, I want to have as much together, well presented like a professional would, for them to go ahead and take it to the right people to get an inquiry happening.
I'd be inclined to maybe get some more information from someone like Serge. Serge Delmar would know about all those policies and everything. Like that's his thing, is the children. It's just inherently abusive to say a child's not a child and you're going to treat them the same as an adult. That's abusive, But I think Australia does have more balls than New Zealand. We're very politically correct here. And it's like, let everyone practice their religions. And they just don't kind of question it. Whereas Australia's a bit more up to questioning it. Yeah. It's very small here. It's not big here.
They did a marvelous inquiry here on sexual abuse in institutions, and I was surprised to find that I couldn't find Scientology within that, like in religious institutions. And they cleaned that up amazingly and gave survivors an opportunity to have a voice in the it was a Queen's Council. It was a big whatever. Can't think of the right words. But I don't think Scientology was involved with that. So that we want one on Scientology now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, about time. It's just disgusting. And just the way they abuse children, adults, elderly, it's across the board.
I think too, one of the things I love to remind people of, and I got this from Serge, is that it's actually 2024 now. What used to wash before the Me Too movement, what used to get thrown under the bus before Me Too movement, doesn't get thrown under the bus as much or as readily any longer. Right. And the other thing too, and Jamie Mustard said, and I loved this, was people can hear when people are telling the truth. Yeah, you can hear the truth. You can hear does Mike Rinder and John Atack sound like they're telling the truth on that interview? No. And so the truth resonates like a clear bell. And so we need to get the truth out there no matter that it hasn't worked in the past, it's 2024. It's a new era, and I'm filled with hope about this movement that kids can't consent, no more kids in Scientology. I'm filled with hope that we will shut this down for the kids, at least. Like, let's get them safe.
Absolutely.
Because children can't advocate for themselves. And I was having this discussion with my sister the other day, and it's just so important that other people say something. We were talking about an incident within our own family where my dad was recalling something, and there's all these adults there and they're all laughing. No one said anything. No one said it was wrong what happened. So we're sitting there as children ourselves thinking we know it's wrong, but all these adults are sitting there and they're fine with it. So until the adults and the others start to say something, the children can't advocate. They don't know
That's
how
right.
to. It's and it's so important that more than one person advocates, because if it's just one person, they can discredit you. But it has to be across the board. It has to be medical professionals, doctors, childcare workers, other individuals. And as you were saying in your story, Marilyn, the other day that you did on Keela's channel, it's just so, honestly, Marilyn, your story is so heartbreaking. I was crying listening to it. But just to hear that, no one was advocating for you when you needed it, and that's what you do now. And I'm so proud of you here on YouTube advocating for people. It's really beautiful, Marilyn. Look, I'm crying now.
Oh, honey, thank you.
But
I mean, I think I can speak for all of us in that we want to be the people that we needed when we were going through it. So, and I did have some good Samaritans, guardian angels, whatever people, kind people along the way. And I guess what they say, pay it forward, right? So
and it makes a difference just if one person is kind to you and stands up for you. That shows you that you can trust your heart and know that what's happening around you is wrong, even though 100 adults might be okay with it. This one adult's not, and I think that's so important.
That's a good point. Speaking out and speaking up, when you see something,
Because that's the witness that we never had at the time. So when we had those experiences and our inner gut went, oh, I'm scared and something's going on, and the parents are all smiling and happy, there's an incongruent, like there's a mismatch. And then when we get witnessed by our fellow people, it's like, I wasn't crazy for feeling that. All I was human. It was an appropriate response that I had, and others would respond like that in this situation. So the healing in that witness, in that connecting, is so, that's what's healing, is the connecting. Yeah.
And it gives more people courage to stand up as well when they know it's wrong, but they're not saying anything. And then it's like that Ash conformity test, people go along with the group, but if there's one other person that's telling the truth, it makes you more likely to tell the truth, even though it's just one person out of 5, so it's so important that even if the majority not saying anything, if one of us is, then that will shine the light for the other people to stand up as well.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah. Well, it's, we live and we learn.
Look, even starting my channel, like I run off the back of you, Miriam, like your bravery to do that. I wanted to do it last year and there's no way I could, I was just very unwell.
Well,
and
I don't know. I just was a little bit crazy. I'm just like, okay. And I really didn't plan it. It just kind of like happened. And I always say it's all Kelly's fault. But I'm glad she kind of just asked me to tell my story. And then, it just started with that. And I don't know, like a lot of people call me Miriam, but it's Marilyn, but because I just got a text like, can I call you Miriam? I'm like, hey, I'm honored, but I'm not.
And I think
I'm
I'm
not being
saying
Miriam.
Miriam because I've been with Miriam and I've not got Marilyn around my tongue at the moment.
That's
Sorry.
okay. Everybody calls me Miriam. I get Madeline a lot. People call me Madeline.
like it.
That's interesting. I love
Yeah.
that name, Madeline.
Yeah.
You
But
remember
I just
that?
thought I
Did you
would tell
guys
you.
read that story about Madeline with the girl in Paris that was covered in vines
Yes,
and she was a little
Madeline. Yeah.
orphan?
My
Yeah.
daughter loved Madeline. And then it became, it
Mhm.
was like a cartoon, right? And then it
Yeah.
became, there was a movie with like a little girl, Madeline. She
Yeah.
loved that
I
movie.
loved those books as a child.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was like, oh, I wish I was in an orphanage. And then it's like, what was I thinking? You don't want to be in an orphanage, but like it looked so good in the book, you know? Mm.
So there's a few comments just as we go along from what you were all talking about. You two were
Mm.
talking about. Corkalopicus says, oh, wow, I've never heard that. I think it was about the reading thing.
Yeah.
I used to read voraciously, not so much since escaping my marriage.
Yeah, such
You
a
know?
common experience. Also, our sexual drive goes to often to zero. So that's another thing people don't. I like to talk about that because I've experienced it at a horrendous level, you know, and it's like people need to know that if their drive is totally gone and they've experienced a lot of trauma, and if a drop cups and they have a startled response, that they're probably suffering an injury to their system, and that's impacting their capacity to read. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I never knew that.
Yeah, just to be gentle about, I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I used to read voraciously. It's not because I've got older. It's because a lot of trauma is going on in my brain and I can't manage it at the moment. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think I have a learning disability. I just can't freaking read.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I retain things, but I just not reading them. So this is awesome. Gretchen only says, Reed, that would be awesome. I would
Thank you.
love to see a collab.
Oh, that would
Yay.
be great. Excellent.
I'm
Thanks, Gretchen.
excited. Yeah, so yeah, I have Gretchen's information. I don't know if I have yours, but
I'll send you mine, Marilyn.
okay.
So,
Yeah, mine you can email me at coffeecultandcrafts@gmail.com. Pretty easy to remember. So
oh, yeah.
then I'd love to have your information as well for me.
Right.
Cricket Cinema says sober since 2017. Awesome. I have a very similar feelings about 12-step groups too. Working as peer specialist to help others.
Beautiful, Cricket. I'm so excited about that. Peer support is so important.
There's
Yeah.
been a lot of criticism in recent years of the 12-step programs. I can't remember the name of the guy, but there's this leading expert in recovery treatments. He's somewhere in Europe, and he's very critical of the 12-step program. He says that it's not beneficial. Like, I'm not saying it does it because it has helped a lot of people, but that it traps you in another belief system, and this idea that you're always an addict and you can never be 100% cured, and that's actually not true, and
I
that
agree
is
with
kind
you.
of a trap that keeps people suffering, thinking, oh, I'm always an addict, I'm always going to be like this. And yeah, I must find his name because his research is very cutting edge, and he wrote a book. Was it Chasing the Scream? Have you heard of that? It's brilliant.
No, I haven't.
It came out several years ago, like maybe 2015, and it's an amazing book, really worth a read. Yeah.
I will look into that.
Yeah, Chasing the Scream it's called. And yeah, he's very critical of the 12-step program.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of, especially for women. And when I got sober in 1989, at a typical AMA meeting, there would be 30 men all over 40 years of age. There'd be myself, an ex-sex worker, and a 40-year-old woman. There'd be 3 women, a 20-year-old, an ex-sex worker, and this older woman. And it was so male. Like sometimes they'd call one woman if we were lucky. If we were. So now that's not typical always, but I got sober in the 80s, you know, and then the 90s happened, and I remember starting a women's meeting and I said, look, I don't like having a God in the steps that has God as we understand him. That it's written in the doctrine that God, we understand capital HIM, which is a Christian God, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And I said to the group meeting members, who are all women, I said, I feel very uncomfortable about this, and can we change it? And they went me, you know, no, we can't change it. And I handed the keys over and said, look, I can't continue being a secretary of this group with such closed conditions, because there's no what I like to talk about is having some psychological flexibility. And most of us know about the BITE model, by behavior, all that, the cult stuff, and don't like psychological flexibility in the slightest. They do not encourage that at all. But that's where the healing happens.
That's one of the big criticisms of the 12-step programs, is that they're based on God and on a religious belief in God and giving your power over to God to save you, not you actually doing the work and saving yourself, but giving it to God. And I guess that's what makes it cult-like. And that's the criticisms that guy makes, is that you're putting it in the other to save you. You're not saving yourself, and you're always a victim of your addiction, this disease you have. But he doesn't call it a disease. He says it's a trauma. It's a trauma response and a way that people learn to cope. It's not a disease you have. It's a coping strategy you've developed.
That's right. And I agree with that. It's a trauma response. I was not born defective. I was not even born an alcoholic. I used to say I was. I used to say that. But I realized that I was born perfectly perfect, and I needed to use alcohol and drugs to manage the effect, the impact of the trauma in my teenage life. And it stopped working as a medicine, so to speak. And I fell into recovery and have been there ever since.
And something to note, Marilyn, is Australia and New Zealand, we have big, big drinking cultures. We are massive. Like my American friends that
Vermont
have lived
too.
Here, they are just like, no, even Americans know that New Zealanders and Australians, we party way harder. Like we party hard all night long, excessively, continually for days. Yeah, we have big cultures of drinking.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of been addiction hopper sometimes, and sometimes have them all at once, you know?
Yeah. Me too.
So, you know, I just quit smoking 2.5 months ago, and that was so hard. It was so hard. I feel sorry for myself so bad. I just went through the gamut. I was mad and self-piteous and angry. Oh my God. And just crying. And I was such a big baby about it. And, you know, being in the throes of menopause too did not help. But it's getting easier. Of course, I went to the doctor and she was like jumping up and down, so happy. She's like, okay, now we got to work on your diet, your nutrition, and your weight. I'm like, can you give me a minute?
You know, one thing at a time.
Yeah, and I mean, not that it's an excuse, but I never really struggled as much with my weight until, well, I did a little bit in the teenage years, but when I left the cult, it was really tough because like all of a sudden, I mean, we were starved when it was like a Sea Org situation, food deprivation, sleep deprivation, control, mind control, you name it, overwork, everything. And so, just being able to make my own decisions, and food was everywhere, and alcohol and everything, So it's been hard to regulate myself. And I realized that it is, like you said, it's a way to like make you feel better. It's just like anesthetizes you. It's like using it as medicine.
My boss, my therapist boss used to say to me, all the time. We've got to always look at all behavior is needs driven. So that means that if I'm feeling like, oh, I need a cigarette right now, there's a need for something. There's something that I'm needing a cigarette. I'm having feelings. I'm out of my comfort zone. What's
Right.
happening? A bit of turbulation. I want this to pacify myself. If
Yeah.
I'm able to get awareness of that, maybe I could take some deep breaths in and go, okay, I felt that urge. I'm just going to let it pass. It's okay that I had the urge. I didn't need to have the puff that time. Now, if I did need to, it's not the end of the world, but all behavior is needs driven. And when I can be gentle, because we've got to, as trauma survivors, we're usually the worst abusers to ourselves.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So learning the gentle, kind way to do the dialogue with yourself is becoming the parent that you never had, your own best friend, talking to yourself like I would talk to you, Miriam, if we were having a cup of coffee, or philosophy, if we were having a chat online. You know what I mean? Talking with kindness rather than, oh, you bloody idiots, you know.
Yeah.
You had 11 years off cigarettes, Ree, and you picked them back up, you know, and it's like, sweetheart, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just don't be so angry at yourself all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just said that to my sister because she's just started smoking again because of stressful things that are happening. So she's gone back to her thing. And I just said, look, don't beat yourself up about that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you've relapsed. It's okay. It doesn't mean
That's
you're not going to stop again. It just means you're human. And I said to her, I said, don't beat yourself up. I said, we already beat ourselves up enough because of our childhood in our heads.
Exactly.
And I said, stop it. Just don't. I said, it's okay. Like, be kind to yourself. You've relapsed.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's okay.
Yeah, because the deprivation is what got you there to begin with. And if you feel like you can't, you know, that's what I said to myself. I was just like, no, it's not that I can't. It's just that I have come to the point where I want to do this for myself and not for anyone else, not because anyone's pressuring me. And if I go back, it's not the end of the world, but I don't want to, you know, just be like constantly, sitting on my hands, like, you know, like that. There's a difference, I think, with me with willpower. Doesn't work for me. I don't have willpower because you're always thinking of you're being deprived of something, you know. And then I realized, you know what, I don't really actually need the cigarettes. My brain is telling me I do.
That's
but
right.
I lived without them, you know. I smoked when I was a teenager, and then I quit, and then I didn't smoke for 22 years, and then the last 10 years I've been smoking. So what was that? Was I miserable the 22 years? I didn't really think about smoking that much. Well, once in a while it would come up, but yeah, I could push it out of my head. So it's not a matter of like denying myself a need. It's like my brain has been trained to have that dopamine hit. Like sometimes even the thought of it gives you a dopamine hit. You're manipulating your brain into thinking that's what you need. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
I love what you said, because I look at it this way too, exactly what you've said. It's not that I can't drink. I can drink. In fact, I can drink really bloody well. A lot. But I've chosen not to for many years. I continually have chosen not to. And that's an empowering choice rather than I can't have a cigarette or I can't have a drink. That's a victim stance. But the empowerment is I can choose to crash my car or drive it safely. I can choose to drink alcohol or not drink alcohol. And that's a much better place, Marilyn, that you were talking. See it from. I love it.
Yeah, and I think it does get easier because your brain doesn't like crave it so much after a while. It's like, okay, I can live. I can actually exist without
Because
it.
the
And
almost activates a teenager in us, and I'll show you, like
Yeah.
I can, like it's
right,
crazy.
yeah,
Our brains are
Mm.
funny things.
Mhm.
definitely.
That's
So I've
funny.
been just starting some things as I go along. If you don't mind me
Right.
reading some comments and questions, because we got some good input from the chat here. Let's got Ann. Hey there, Ann Casillas. Doctors really struggle with not everyone being perfection. It's how they get their confirmation that they're doing a good job. Good ones realize that the pressure on a patient needs to be positive. Yeah, my doctor's good about it. It was just like a little bit soon to jump to my next issue to deal with, but she's been good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's just like, I think that they that's probably why she was so excited and jumping. She is not a jumping up and down type of person, my doctor. She is just, very doctory, right? But she listens, and she's very proactive about this test and that, and telling me what I should do for my health. But she was so excited because I think it was a win for her. Like, oh my God, like, I don't, she quit smoking so that maybe she won't get this disease or that, you know what I mean? So I think she felt like that was a victory for her. I'm sure, because can you imagine being a doctor and seeing so many people be ill because of smoking or whatever other habits? It's a preventable thing. So yeah, but yeah, I think they get invested, which is good. But you don't want to feel pressured. So we got CC from a village in Alaska. Alcohol was part of most days. Yeah, I can imagine. And Alaska is way more remote than I'm in, but there's a lot of alcoholism in Vermont because it's a beautiful place, but it's also very isolating. There's a lot of cults here. Someone said that Vermont's a cult magnet. They might say, yeah, you're in Vermont. We already know. In Vermont,
Yeah,
they
I've
do
heard
what they
that.
want.
Yeah, there's so
Yeah,
many cults I see in Vermont, and I'm like, oh my God, that's where Marilyn lives. I'm like, oh no, she's surrounded by them.
I am. I literally am. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know what the per capita rate is, but I was saying earlier this the thing on SBTV.space that has the congressional districts of all the representatives that are up for re-election. We have one district for the entire state. And like
Wow.
Texas has probably hundreds of them. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So we are
You got nearly as many cults as California, or Cultifornia, as some people call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have to rank them probably, like California is probably number one. And then I would say Oregon, maybe Colorado, Vermont, definitely Vermont. Well, Florida just because of Scientology, right? So.
Yeah, but I mean, America's got quite a lot of cults. You're culting up over there.
And they are pretty lenient on the whole religious freedom thing, which is fine, religious freedom, but cults take it way too far and they abuse people.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we've got morning in Thailand. I love it. Yadira, hi there. Great to see you. Hi, Mama Bear. Hi, Ree. Oh, this was probably before philosophy came on. And this was about your sobriety, Ree. That's a phenomenal accomplishment, Ree. And this is Alicia, your great daughter.
Alicia came to the protest in Melbourne with us. She was on my live stream. I was screaming out.
Oh my God. I love her. She's amazing. So proud of you and happy for you. Absolutely. So what did you say? It would be 27 years?
No, 35 on the 20th.
I like 27 years. 35? Oh my God.
That's awesome.
That is an accomplishment. That is amazing.
27 years sober when I had a mental breakdown from workplace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that must have been what I was thinking, the 27.
Yeah, you got the right.
Hi, Marilyn. Philosophy, Ree, and chat. Hey there.
Hello, Kelly.
Your dear is looking into the future and it looks gorgeous. I like that.
Oh, there you go.
I love this chat. It's awesome. Marina saying hello. Jersey Dan wants to know, reconnecting, have you chatted with literally Serge? And I know that Philosophy was suggesting that. It's a good idea.
I haven't yet. I cannot wait to do that.
amazing.
Yeah, that's on my dream list because I have the deepest respect for him. Yeah, so I really hope to do that soon. Yeah.
I always say my dream is to see Serge Del Mar speaking before Congress.
Oh my God, yes.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You know, he's
For-
just, no one can say it like Serge. I mean, he just.
No one says it. When he
Yeah.
started talking about the sanitization of the story, oh my God, he threw new psychological. I've been out of the industry for 7 years, and not studying at all. And what I've learned from him, oh my God, it blows my head off because he really can articulate the manipulation that is done to make the story sound in a particular fashion. And he brings it right back to straight shooting. Amazing man.
Absolutely. I've learned so much from him, even from my own recovery, because there's so many aspects to his story that he talks about how children were considered big thetans in little bodies, right? And how they didn't have a childhood, but then the adults would do all these really like weird, creepy things that would infantilize the adults. It was like a role reversal.
It's disturbing.
And honestly, I really, I mean, not to that degree of what he went through as far as the institutionalizing of trafficking children. That's, I probably had that lite, L-I-T-E, but I could totally relate to that because I had to grow up really, really fast. And I witnessed and experienced some really messed up things that adults were doing that they shouldn't have. So
that point, Miriam, for far out, I've got to stop saying your name because I'm getting that wrong.
It's written there on the screen, but don't worry about it.
Yeah, sorry about that. That point that when we're children and the parents start acting like the children and the children become the mini adults, that is such a common childhood abuse survivor's story, but Serge nails it in a nutshell in a way I've not heard articulated. So and you just did real justice yourself then. So thank you for recapping it.
Thank you. I'm definitely not as eloquent as any of the ex-Scientologists that I know. But,
hey, they're trained to talk, those guys.
Yes.
But also with Serge, one thing that how he worded it was how he calls it sadistic. And, with my old job running the brothel, unfortunately, I came to understand sadomasochism and what it is and what it looks like and what it sounds like. And the way he describes it, it made me realize Scientology is a type of sadomasochism. It's just not overtly sexual like you'd think sadomasochism is, but it is a sadistic game. It fits all the criteria of sadism.
Yeah, I love that out there. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
if you
really
look at the
does.
history of L. Ron Hubbard,
identical.
I mean, he was into the black magic and sex magic. Yeah.
I bet you he had suspenders on underneath his suit or something kinky like that. Yeah, because you don't develop a sadistic system like that without that being in your head.
Yeah,
it's all about repression and dominance and submission, and it's all about these dynamics, which is what Scientology is and does to people.
Yeah,
yes.
Definitely.
Sadistic.
I got a couple more comments here. Kate Delight, we might need elderly housing when the cult will come down. There has to be a place in place, I think, a plan for them also. They have nothing outside, most of them. Yeah, so the elderly, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's just so sad.
I feel for the elderly. You know, they've spent their lives serving that organisation to have nothing and to be treated like pieces of shit. Sorry to swear, but you know, it's like
Okay, it's after dark.
they've spent their whole lives serving that organization. They're meant to be the cream of Scientology. You know, they're held up as this great thing. Yet look at how they're treated in their older age. It doesn't, there's a mismatch there. Those
Yeah.
people should be like heroes in the organization. They should be worshipped by people if we're to believe Scientology. But they're not even doing that to their Sea Org. Like, how can I don't understand the cognitive dissonance to stay in those cults and see how they're treating their most decorated members. It's
Yes.
just I don't get it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at the doctrine, well, you know, the gibberish that came out of his mouth was basically, if you like, I would rather have you dead than
Incapable.
or whatever. Yeah, incapable. Yeah. So, as you get older, I mean, and they're blaming it on them. It's old age. It happens, right? But it's like, oh, you pulled it in because if you were OT, whatever, or if you were, you know, applying the tech appropriately, you wouldn't be sick.
Mm.
Well, what happened to Elron? He died of a stroke.
Yeah.
You know,
His black magic backfired on him. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Science.
So we have your channel, Reconnecting. Awesome. So got that. Everybody subscribe. And then Philosophy, your channel is, I forgot the name, the number after it. It's at Philosophy.
88744 or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I'd have to look. I don't know if I go out of this, if it will stop it.
I think I can maybe find it.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you know, I make my edits and stuff. I'm actually working on one more to do with language and double speak and how language is used to manipulate us. You know.
Beautiful.
Did you say it was 8744?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Oh, I think so.
Oh, found it. Yay.
Yeah, it's hard to find because I don't do much.
I'm subscribed, but couldn't find it. Okay, let me get the.
And then I've been making videos about working, you know, as a madam and stuff. So it's quite confronting, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I like
the more distance you get,
do.
the more you can see what it is, you know, and it's kind of like there are a lot of things in that industry that are very cult-like, just the way we're controlled and we have to inform on each other and you're watched by cameras all the time. You're constantly on camera. You're constantly worried that someone's going to write a report on you if you do something wrong, or there's so many rules like about how we treat the working girls and have this separation with them. But I couldn't really do it because I just not my character. So I couldn't help but be kind to them and become close with them. But my boss didn't really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're supposed to dehumanize them.
Yeah, exactly.
But I couldn't do it. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
I just want to read a couple more things. Doug says the worst thing about Scientology is how they treat children and the elderly. How the government allows it to go on is disgusting.
Yeah.
And across the board. I mean, every government needs to look at what's going on, and not only with Scientology, other cults, and like you said, philosophy, what happened in your situation, even like just people that are suffering because of injustice. It burns my biscuits. Everybody's saying burn my biscuits. I see some biscuit emojis that made me think of it.
Yeah.
They're agreeing with Doug. Yeah, let's see what else we have. A few more things. Thank you, Julie McGuire. Oh, she was an hour behind. Glad to catch a part of the live. Yeah, I like doing these night ones. I'm going to do one at least once a week because I really like doing these. And then I can catch the people down under.
Exactly. That's great for us.
And the West Coast people too, the California people too.
You know, that's like how Tori goes live at midnight and she gets people from Europe and all over the world because of the time difference. It's like the morning in Europe or something. So
It's 3 in the morning. When it's midnight for her, it's 3
mm,
3 a.m.
yeah.
for me. This is a good comment. Ann Casillas. I had a good friend who once said, "Would you say the things to me that you constantly say to yourself in your head? So why treat yourself less kindly?"
Yeah.
Wow. It's a really
And-
good
love
way
that.
of looking at it.
Until we learn how to start doing with ourselves, we're under attack by our own thoughts. Until we're able to get the ability to say, "Oh, I need to start not calling myself names every time I make an error
Yeah.
or something,"
Yeah.
then that's a very key factor to learning to how to have kindness in your life, is learning how to start with yourself. But we need
Mm,
others to model it for us, because you do
mm,
not heal in isolation. I can vouch for it. I did 6 years alone. I nearly died many times because of the level of shame and isolation in my life. And it's only through connecting, which happened in the SPTV community way before I came on stream, that I started to heal and wanted to talk with others again and risk it. So I'm so indebted and love this community for so many more reasons than perhaps is known. Yeah.
aw.
I love that.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
I
glad
love
you're
that.
here. So
Thank
glad
you.
we met you.
You too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
I think many of us, I know myself, can absolutely relate to that. Absolutely. So, and I guess we have a question for both of you. How does a trauma survivor begin to believe they're good enough and that they were fed lies all these years?
Well, I
Kinda
think
goes
that
along
it's
with what you're saying.
answers in the sentence, a beautifully, Sandra, beautifully questioned sentence there, is that we were fed the lies. They were lies. They weren't the truth. Now, our brain doesn't understand that they were lies, but we have to be the nurturing parent now and go, "Look, they were lies. I know you believe it, but I'm not going to abuse myself like that just for this moment. Don't do it all day. It's too long. Just for this moment, I'm not going to call myself ugly or too loud, or I suffer from feeling invisible, and I'm the most uninvisible person you probably will ever meet. But inside, I feel invisible. And so I have to work with that all the time and just be, you're not invisible, Ree. It's all good. It's all good. You're here with us. So it's just being gentle and reassuring that inner child with words that we didn't have when we were little.
Mm,
That was beautiful.
yeah,
Thank you.
that was beautiful. I'm still learning to do it. It's not easy when you
So
have
am
these
I.
ingrained patterns of thoughts that just come in. You're not consciously trying to think that way. It's just how we were taught. But it's also the micro and the macro. Like, that's what cults do on a bigger scale, is get
Mhm.
you to reinforce those negative things about yourself. Like in Scientology, you pulled it in, and all the cults do it to keep you in that system of self-blame, so that you're kept down in the control system, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
So
because
I guess it's about reprogramming ourselves.
That's right, because external forces, when they say if you do A, B, C, and D, you'll be good. But you're not good because you aren't doing it our way, the A, B, C, D way. But because humans are so complicated, we need to be learning how to find our internal self. And it's complicated because we need to do it with other humans and people that I love. Yeah, watch out for the red flags, but man, find out what a green flag feels like, for crying out loud. If you don't know what a green flag feels like, then that needs to be bugger looking for the red ones. Learn about the green ones.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
will heal you.
Mm.
So I have one more comment. This is from my hubby, from my husband, Duncan. He says, control is generally achieved through fear, which corrupts religions and cults and turns them destructive. Fear is a real enemy. Love creates trust and constructive support of others. So, this
Beautiful.
is what I got to live with, God. No, he's a great guy.
Aw.
Duncan,
Yeah.
I love that. And Nora and I are going to do a show on FOG, which stands for fear, obligation, and guilt. And it's an incredible way that people use emotional blackmail. So after
Mm.
all I've done for you, and you treat me like this, and things like that. So fear, obligation, and guilt is a
Mm.
weapon. And it's really that cults use, that abusive partners use, etc. We all use it. Like all of us have used FOG, and it's about learning to hear for it and not be reactive to it. And also, I don't want to be someone who uses FOG on the people I love. I don't want to use fear, obligation, or guilt. My son hasn't rung me, he should. I'm his mum. No, I don't want that kind of thing. So hopefully we'll be doing a show on FOG very soon.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, this was amazing. You never know. I never know what's going to happen. It's great. And thank you so much, Ree and Philosophy. This has been awesome. And yeah, let's totally keep in touch. I'd love to do this again.
I will be
Thanks
emailing
for
you
having us.
immediately if you've got my details. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a fantastic night. And if you two want to hang out for a minute, we can wrap it up and get information and all that. That'd be awesome.
Great.
All right, everybody, let's find the outro. See you soon. Bye. Xenu, Marlene, everybody partake. Cheers. This is good coffee. This is why, my hubby makes the coffee.